The night my husband found out I had exactly $42 in my bank account. He laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not a oh no laugh. He laughed like I had just told him the funniest joke he'd heard all year. Then he looked at me and said, "You lied to me." And honestly, he wasn't wrong. Hey, before I get into this, if you're new here, welcome. I share real stories. My own story, actually. No scripts written by someone else, no actors. Just me, talking to you like you're a friend sitting across the table. And today's story is one I've never told anyone outside my closest circle. Not my mom. Not my sister. Nobody. But I think it's time. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let me take you back to where this all started. I grew up in a small town outside Dayton, Ohio. Nothing fancy. My dad worked at a warehouse. My mom cleaned houses on weekends to make extra cash. We weren't poor, but we were the kind of family where you didn't ask for new shoes unless the old ones had holes in them. I moved out at 18, got a job at a call center, then a retail store, then back to a call center. You know how that goes. I was working, but I wasn't really living. Just surviving paycheck to paycheck like so many of us do. By the time I was 26, I had about $600 in credit card debt, a car that made a weird clicking sound every time I turned left, and a studio apartment that cost way more than it should have. And then I met him. His name was Marcus. And when I tell you this man walked into my life like a movie character, I mean it. Nice car. Nice watch. Talked about investments and real estate deals like it was just normal Tuesday conversation. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party. He asked me what I did for work, and I told him the truth. Customer service, nothing glamorous. And instead of losing interest, he leaned in and said, "That's just where you are right now, not where you're going." You have no idea how much that line meant to me at the time. I was tired. Tired of being broke. Tired of watching people my age post vacation photos while I was counting quarters for laundry. So when this confident, put-together man started paying attention to me, I fell hard. Fast. Within 3 months, we were basically living together. Within 8 months, he proposed. And here's the part one haven't told many people. I said yes, but I never told him the truth about my finances. You might be wondering, why would I lie about something like that? Honestly, pride, fear, maybe even a little bit of hope that things would just work out on their own. See, Marcus talked about money constantly, not in a bragging way, or at least, that's what I told myself. He'd talk about his portfolio, his properties, his plans to retire by 40, and every time he brought it up, I'd just nod along, maybe throw in a vague comment like, "Yeah, I've got some savings put away too," or "I'm pretty good with budgeting." I wasn't lying outright. I was just omitting a lot. The truth was, I had about $2,000 in savings when we met. By the time we got engaged, most of that had gone toward wedding stuff, a new phone because mine broke, and helping my younger brother with rent 1 month, because he was about to get evicted. So when Marcus asked me, casually over dinner one night, "So when we combine finances after the wedding, what are we working with on your end?" I said, "I've got some savings. Not a ton, but enough to contribute." That was the lie. That was the moment I should have just told him the truth. But I didn't. We got married in a small ceremony. Nothing extravagant, but beautiful. I remember standing at the altar thinking, this is it. This is my new chapter. Everything is about to get easier. I want you to remember that feeling, because it's about to completely fall apart. About 2 weeks after the wedding, we sat down to do what Marcus called our financial merge. He had a spreadsheet, an actual spreadsheet, color-coded, with categories for assets, liabilities, savings, investments. I remember my stomach dropping the second he opened his laptop. He filled in his side first. Savings, $18,000. Investments, about $30,000, spread across some stocks and a small rental property he co-owned with his cousin. No debt except a car loan. Then he looked at me and said, "Okay, your turn." I sat there for what felt like an entire minute in silence. Finally, I said, "Okay, I need to be honest with you about something." His face changed instantly. That easy, confident smile disappeared. I told him the truth. $42 in checking. Nothing in savings. $600 in old credit card debt that had actually crept up to closer to $1,500 with interest. A car that was barely holding together. No investments, no assets, nothing. And that's when he laughed. Remember that laugh from the beginning? This is where it happened. He said, "You lied to me. This whole time. You let me believe you were financially stable." I tried to explain that I never said I had a lot, that I just didn't correct his assumptions, that I was scared he'd leave if he knew how broke I actually was. But none of that mattered to him in that moment. All he heard was, "She lied." That night turned into one of the worst arguments of my life. He kept saying things like, "I thought we were building something together. I thought you were bringing something to this marriage." And I remember snapping back saying, "I brought myself. Isn't that supposed to be enough?" He didn't answer that. He just went quiet, grabbed a blanket, and slept on the couch that night. I lay in bed alone, staring at the ceiling, feeling like the biggest fraud in the world. I kept thinking, did I actually trick him into marrying me? Is that what I did? I want to pause here and just say something real to you watching this. If you've ever felt like you weren't enough for someone, financially, emotionally, whatever it is, I understand that feeling more than you know. It eats at you in the quiet moments. It makes you question your own worth. But keep watching, because this story isn't just about that pain. It's about what came after. The next few weeks were rough. Marcus wasn't cruel, but he was distant. Cold almost. He'd come home from work, eat dinner in near silence, and go straight to his laptop to check on his investments. I tried to bring up the topic a few times, tried to apologize properly, tried to explain my side. But every conversation ended the same way, him saying something like, "I just need time." And me feeling more and more like I was losing my own marriage before it even really started. One night, I overheard him on the phone with his cousin. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, I promise. I was just walking past the room to get water. But I heard him say, "Yeah man, turns out she had nothing. Like nothing. And then he said something that cut deep. He said, "I don't know what I signed up for." I stood in that hallway, glass of water in my hand, feeling like my entire chest had caved in. I went back to our room, closed the door quietly, and cried into a pillow so he wouldn't hear me. About a month into the marriage, things got even harder. My car, the one with the clicking noise, finally gave out completely. Transmission issue. The mechanic quoted me $1,800 to fix it. I didn't have that. Obviously. I asked Marcus if we could use some of our joint savings to help cover it, since technically we were married now and supposed to be a team. He looked at me and said, "That's my money I built before we got married. I don't think it's fair for me to just hand that over for your car." That sentence right there. That's when something in me shifted. Not anger exactly. More like clarity. I realized in that moment. This man married an idea of me. An idea of someone who had her life together, who could match his financial energy, who would add to what he already built. And when that idea turned out to be false, he wasn't just disappointed. He pulled away entirely. I remember sitting in my car in a parking lot after that conversation, just staring out the windshield, thinking, what did I get myself into? You might be wondering, why didn't I just leave right then? Honestly, part of me still loved him. And part of me, the more honest part, was scared. Scared of starting over again. Scared of admitting the marriage had failed after less than 2 months. Scared of what people would say. So I stayed. And I started working. Hard. I picked up a second job. Weekends at a coffee shop, on top of my regular call center hours. I started selling stuff I didn't need. Old clothes, an old gaming console. Even some jewelry my grandmother left me that I hated parting with, but needed the cash more than the sentiment at that point. I stopped buying anything unnecessary. No more takeout, no more little treat-yourself purchases. I made a strict budget, the kind of budget I probably should have made years earlier. And slowly, I started saving. Not much at first. $50 here, $80 there. But it was mine. Money I earned, money I controlled. About 2 months into this, I paid off that credit card debt completely. All $1,500 of it gone. I remember the day I paid the last payment. I sat on my bed, looked at my banking app, and just felt this quiet, private pride. Nobody clapped for me. Nobody congratulated me. But I felt like I had just climbed a mountain. Around this same time, something else happened. Something that changed how I saw the whole situation. Marcus came home one evening looking stressed. Really stressed. Turns out that rental property he co-owned with his cousin? It had a huge unexpected repair bill. A burst pipe had flooded half the basement unit, and insurance wasn't covering nearly what he thought it would. He needed access to cash. Quick. And guess who had actually been quietly saving money for the first time in her life? Me. I remember him asking, almost embarrassed, "Do you have anything put away? Even a little?" I told him yes. About $1,100 at that point. He looked at me like he'd never really seen me before. Like the pieces suddenly rearranged in his head. I didn't hand it over immediately, by the way. I want to be honest about that too. Because for a second, a small, petty part of me wanted to say, "Oh, now you need my money?" But I didn't say that. Instead, I said something that ended up being the real turning point of this whole story. I said, "I'll help you, but we need to actually talk. Like really talk. About what this marriage is supposed to be." That night, we sat at our kitchen table, no spreadsheet this time, and just talked. Really talked, for the first time since the wedding. I told him how it felt to be laughed at for being broke. How it felt to hear him on the phone saying he didn't know what he signed up for. How small he made me feel during those weeks of silence. He told me things too. He told me he grew up with a dad who lost everything in a bad business deal. And how watching his mom struggle afterward left him terrified of ever being financially unstable again. He said finding out I had nothing wasn't just about the money. It triggered this deep fear that history was repeating itself. For the first time, I understood him. Really understood him. And for the first time, I think he understood me too, that I wasn't trying to trick him. I was just scared and ashamed, and desperate not to lose someone who made me feel valuable for once in my life. We cried. Both of us. Which, if you knew Marcus, you'd know that was a big deal. This man did not cry easily. And in that conversation, we made a decision. Not to erase the past few months, but to actually rebuild from an honest place. No more hiding numbers. No more assumptions. Just truth, even when it was uncomfortable. From that night on, things slowly started to shift. We created an actual joint budget. Together, honestly, no hidden numbers. I told him every debt, every dollar. He told me the real state of his investments, including some risks he hadn't mentioned before, like a stock investment that wasn't doing nearly as well as he'd implied at first. Turns out, he wasn't quite as financially put together as he presented either. Some of that confidence? It was partly a performance. Something a lot of people do when they're insecure about money. They overcompensate by acting like they have it all figured out. We started attacking our combined debt together. I kept both my jobs for another 6 months. He picked up freelance consulting on weekends to help cover the property repair, without draining everything. It wasn't glamorous. There were nights we ate plain pasta, because that's what we could afford after bills. There were arguments, because rebuilding trust doesn't happen in one conversation, no matter how emotional it was. But slowly, month by month, things got better. Not because a miracle happened. Not because we suddenly had more money. But because we finally started being honest with each other about not having enough. About a year after that kitchen table conversation, we sat down again, same table, actually, and did another financial check-in. Except this time, it wasn't tense. It wasn't about proving who brought more to the marriage. I had almost $4,000 saved. My credit was fully repaired. I'd even gotten a small raise at work because I picked up new responsibilities to try to boost my income. Marcus's investments had stabilized. The rental property was finally profitable again after the repairs. But honestly, the numbers weren't even the most important part. The most important part was that we had become an actual team. Not because of what either of us brought into the marriage financially, but because we chose, every single day, to be honest, even when honesty was uncomfortable. Looking back now, I understand something I didn't understand back then. I thought love was about presenting the best version of yourself. The version with savings and stability and no messy history. I thought if Marcus knew the real, broke, struggling version of me, he'd walk away. But real love, the kind that survives, isn't built on two people pretending to be impressive for each other. It's built on two people choosing to stay honest, even when honesty is scary. Even when it means admitting you have $42 to your name and a car that's falling apart. If I could go back and talk to myself before that wedding, I'd tell her this: stop hiding. The right person doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be honest. And if that person truly can't handle your truth, then maybe they were never really marrying you in the first place. Maybe they were marrying an idea. And ideas don't hold up under real pressure. Real people do, if you give them the chance. So that's my story. The story of how I almost lost my marriage over $42, and a lie built from fear and pride. We're still married, by the way. Still rebuilding, still learning. Some days are easier than others. But we're doing it honestly now. And that honesty, it's worth so much more than any number in a bank account. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever hidden something out of fear, or felt like you weren't enough for someone because of money, I want you to know something. You are not your bank account. You are not your debt. You are not your struggle. You are someone worthy of real, honest love. The kind that doesn't require a spreadsheet to prove it. If this story touched you in any way, drop a comment below and tell me. Have you ever hidden something from someone you loved out of fear? I read every single comment, and I'd genuinely love to hear your story too. And if you want to hear more real stories like this one, raw, honest, no filters, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, because there are more chapters of my life I haven't shared yet. Thank you for sitting with me through this one. I'll see you in the next video.